evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my show, The Truth Press. And basically, what I talk about is injustice basically in the Bronx. But in America, abroad, or we are the people, we are the world. And what I want to go into, all right, let's go into relationships, love, the law, many things. Because we as a people, we got to empower ourselves. It's really about the future of our children. Like the Indians said, that to sell off our land will be selling off the future of our children, selling off the future of our kids and stuff like that. And that's not what we want to do. We want to create a future so they have the same opportunities that we had coming up when we were born, different generations. And basically, things has changed a lot since back then, and a lot of people sees a lot of opportunities, especially when it comes to education and, getting ahead financially. And there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot that's baked into the cake, really. Like how we getting along with peers, how we getting along with the neighbors, how we getting along with other countries, how we getting along with other nationalities, other generations like the youth and maybe senior citizens, how they getting along. We got a lot of responsibilities. A lot of people neglect a lot of these things. And I don't know, one thing I know is that don't become the monster by trying to fight the monster. Don't get pulled into the dark trying to fight to get to the light. Being young, coming up, I went through a lot of struggles. And, coming up as a child, when it comes to relationships, they know that basically what the government does, they want to break you down, make you weak. And from a lady's perspective, a lady like a man that's financially, they look for security. Financially secure, not just finance, whether you can make it through the hood, because hey, if you can't make it home, especially with the paycheck, and you being punked for your paycheck, what kind of stability is that? So now, other people, the government knows this. They know that if you're financially weak, that a lady is not going to take care of a man that can't take care of itself financially as far as jobs and stuff like that. So they create this type of real life scenarios for people, is that they break them down, they make them weak. And in my case, that's what happened. Like it's not that I wasn't a good person. I was working at D'Agostino's, I was working at Burger King, I was working at Summer Youth. I had a learning disability coming up as a child. But I did not let that stop me, like I made my first record at the age of 14, Total Control, Get Up. But that's neither here nor there. They be like, oh, he's a musician. Oh no, you won't be dating my daughter. Nah, that's not gonna work out. But it's not whether or not I was a musician. I had a learning disability growing up, and I've been discriminated in so many ways by the system, by ladies. There's no constitutional rights to love, There's no constitutional amendment that says you have a right to love. 40 acres in the middle. For real, but and even in slavery days, if you look at slavery days, that's what the slave master, not to bring that up, and it's not that right now, in the Bible we're supposed to be forgiven of those, Love doesn't count inflictions. It's moving on from here on, but you do owe us for slavery, A lot of this is stuff that was built, a lot of this greatness was built off our slave labor. But at the same time, what I was trying to say is that, they would destroy the man, rather kill the man in front of the black man in front of the black lady to make her more submissive to them. So they'd kill the husband, kill the men off. See, and that's the same scenario. I say that to say for today. Like when you oppressing a person, when you take away $10 from a person, that's $10 he's gonna be down for the rest of his life. But it's not about money, because if you're healthy and you're poor, you're doing better than a man that's filthy rich and sick. So it's not really about money. It's about, like you breaking a man down, like as far as, like you forcibly arrested me when I was 14 years old. Then you forcibly arrested me again when I was 18 years old with the driving thing, which I never really got time to get into. They stopped me for nothing. Basically, they said they got a call. I was at Hunts Point. Reason I was at Hunts Point, well, I got into some things, but it wasn't really nothing. It was like, as far as relationship things, like who I would date, what they call dates, but there's some things that's going to date. That's neither here nor there. The crux of the matter is that basically, you got a call from somebody saying that I had a pistol inside my car. You search my car, throw all my stuff out in the streets, put it out on the streets. Now, you don't find no gun. So now you're looking for the next thing. You're saying that you want me to walk a straight line. I couldn't walk a straight line. I always had bad legs. But now you take me down to the precinct and you give me a breathalyzer test. You say I'm 1 point away from not being sober. All right, that's neither here nor there, because I was not drunk, all right? And I did not violate no traffic violations. So, and the law states clearly that a tip from an anonymous person saying that a person has a gun does not create probable cause or reasonable suspicion to stop and frisk that person. Because I could have been an officer that had a gun, a license. I could have been a licensed gun carrier. So that's not sufficient. And now, it's called poison from the tree. What they call it? Fruit from the poisonous tree. Fruit from the poison tree, or something like that. Meaning that the arrest is illegal. That's an illegal arrest because you had no right to stop and frisk me. Let me give you an example of the law. There was a guy, right, and this happens in a lot of cases, that they was downtown just loitering. Now, they was doing some illegal activities, but the police didn't detect any illegal activities other than that they was black, and they was downtown loitering, meaning the police, they felt that, hey, we tired of these people hanging around. I know you get tired of certain things, but the law. Now, they said that the police stopped them and said, basically, that you can't loiter. Now, the case went in, they got arrested. Now, while they got arrested, they had illegal credit cards and stuff on them. So they got charged with the credit cards. Now, the case for loitering got thrown out because the judge ruled, which was quite frankly, which he was supposed to, that that's a public place. Anybody has the right to be in a public place. That's like you come outside your door and they're gonna arrest you for loitering. You know what I mean? Whether you're hanging out or whatever your business is, whether you're shopping downtown, whether you're going to the, let's say, wholesale place to buy some stuff to sell, or whether you illegally dealing drugs or credit cards or whatever, is a public place. Now, you don't have the right to deal drugs or sell credit cards or scam people. No, you don't have the right to do that, but you have the right to be in a public place, like a public library. That's discrimination. That's saying that you can't use this public library, because your skin color or whatever, you can't use this bathroom. But now, the judge had to throw out the credit cards, because the credit card case, because it's fruit from the poisonous tree. Fruit from the poisonous tree. That means they had no right to stop him in the first place because he was in a public place. So now that they stopped him and Christopher Columbus discovered that they had illegal credit cards on them, that had to be thrown out. And it's the same scenario with the DWIs, that you had no reason to stop me. I I didn't have no broken tail lights. They didn't do that to me. You know, they do that broken tail light thing on you. I didn't violate no traffic violations, no speeding, no nothing. Now, the judge and my lawyer, and this is when you get a white lawyer. Now, yes, he was a white lawyer. Not to say there's anything wrong with white people or black people, because this thing happens to white people too. So it's not about white or black. And, you know, I don't judge a person from his skin color or whatever. Y'all real confused about a whole lot of stuff to bring up this racism stuff. I think that's a throw-off in America, part of the scheme, huh? Yeah, because who cares about color? It's about love, shoot. You know, a dog is a man's best friend if you put it in that. If somebody could love you and they don't hate you and they don't judge you by your skin color, but the contents of your character, that's all good. That's not Martin Luther King Jr. Now, that's what happened. And the lawyer asked me, do you want to pay a $250 fine or do you want to go to jail? Now, he didn't ask me, do I want to go to trial or that? Yeah, we could beat this case because they had no probable cause to stop and frisk you and arrest you in the first place. No, they wanted to railroad me. They wanted to destroy me, breaking me down. So now you're weak to the woman too. So that's another aspect. Now dealing with the bullies in the projects, you're weak in that aspect too, because they feel that they're better than me and that, like they used to say, oh, you want to give him some, but you're not going to give me some? She goes to turn, that's my boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? But they confuse your mind anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. So what they did, you know, it's like they dropped a piece of chicken on the floor on some dirt and everything, and they just brushed it off and threw it back in the pan, knowing that, yeah, we can indict a ham sandwich. So basically, a case that was supposed to be dismissed, especially for honorable young man living in the projects who's working and who's not into no crime. So they got a conviction off of something that they wasn't supposed to get a conviction off. That's just like the prison system. It's not whether or not the prison system is needed. The prison system is not, and it's mandated by law that it's not for homeless people. It's not for anything else. The prison system is there as it's mandated to protect society from people who they consider to be, not considered to be, but people is really considered, but people who are dangerous to society. That's what the prison system is there for, is to serve and protect. It's not to put a homeless person in jail or to use it for when they get mad. Like they used to use the infirmary while I was in prison to punish me by putting me in a hospital infirmary to punish me. But they never, now here it is, I developed diabetes, but they never detected my diabetes. They was using that as a form of just punishing me. They didn't care about my health. Because, all right, it boils down to people up north don't have no jobs, so they create these correctional facilities, and then they create jobs for them, or for the misfortune of black people, and not just black people, white people that get thrown into the prison system too, who get fall through the cracks, and yeah, so it's all about them having jobs. Now the thing is that you blemish my record. Another thing about blemishing my record is that when I go for a job, now they look at my thing, but they say, all right, yeah, they call into the law enforcement or whatever, and they say, yeah, he has his arrest, but he doesn't have any conviction. Okay, thank you. Now the employer is going to be like, well, we got 20 other people that haven't even got arrested that filled out job applications, so why should we hire somebody who's getting blemishes with the law? That's what they do. Have you been in contact with the police while you was on parole? Yes, I have. I got in brush with the police, so now you got to go back in. That's how it used to be. It's not like that anymore. They changed the law. And think about the president, Biden. Come on, man, you doing a terrible job, my brother. Especially, I came out of jail with $6,000, right? Prison with $6,000, and they just tore me up. For real, they tore me up. But I'm not going, this episode is not about that. We can get into that in another episode. You're doing a terrible job. Y'all owe me some money. Electric bike one of them electric bikes that got stolen, and I'm supposed to be the criminal. Come on now. Now, what kind of thing is that? Talk about self-esteem and having confidence for a child where you can't even make it down the block without getting stopped and frisked or thrown in prison for something that you didn't do. Yeah, now, that's fruit from the poisonous tree. You were supposed to throw it out that arrest because you stopped me from an anonymous tip saying that I had a pistol in my car, a gun or whatever. You finds no gun. Now you're going to take a breathalyzer test, tell me to walk a straight line at the police station, take a breathalyzer test, and then you're going to say that I'm 1 point away from not being intoxicated, and then you're going to railroad me into getting a DWI conviction, knowing as a person who took an oath to be fair with the Constitution. You took an oath to be fair with the Constitution. Excuse me. You took an oath to be fair with the Constitution, but here it is. You're going to basically bring out the noose and a rope and hang a black man. Just chip away at destroying the future of a child who's not doing no crime. I'm working hard buying it. I wanted an SB1200. I couldn't reach it. I wanted SB1200 Technique turntables. I couldn't reach that. Now, I had a Roland MSK250 sampler. I'm buying Roland MSK250 sampler, Tascam Porter 1 4-track recorders, and compressors and stuff like that. That's far from an AR-15, my brother. That's far from selling crack to the community, to my own community. That's far from it, my brother. I deserve a pat on my back. Can I get that little pat? Yeah, and while you pat me on my back, can you make sure that I'm financially secure right now? Because I'm poor right now. 32 years later, here I am poor, struggling. I don't have no kids. Men got 9 babies by 9 different baby mothers, and here it is. Again, I'm discriminated against with the ladies because now I don't have no children. So basically what you did was strip away my future. It was constructively done by bullies in the neighborhood, by people that doesn't like me. Because if they don't like you, they don't want nobody else to like you. So now the government give you that extra kick while you down. Come on, man, let's get it together. Joe Biden, you the president right now. If you see something, say something, my brother. You see injustice, say something. That's what it's supposed to be about. And yes, I know you selfish and you want it all for yourself, but let me put this in a record. What lady make love to you doesn't make me climax. And what you eat don't make me shit at all. I ain't mean to go into the J. Cole though, but for the lack of better words. These are things that the government know. They got the best doctors, the best lawyers, the best teachers, the best scientists, the best everything, the best accountants. You know what I'm saying? And now you're supposed to know that type of behavior towards a child that's detrimental to the welfare and the well-being of a child. By you're gonna throw a child in jail and then leave them financially struggling, especially in a time of AIDS, HIV, poverty, crime, the crack in the community. Who need to be sued is the government. The government need to be sued. And here you is 32 years later after you put me in jail for 31 years. 31 years, here I am, and I'm still poor and struggling after what you did to me as a child. Now, name one crime that I did that there's no crime. Now, as far as me snapping, you made me snap. Basically, I blacked out, snapped. Of course. And if you look at the structure of America in that field, the nature of that crime, yeah, come on, man. And I'm not just talking about men because, but women also have snapped. They can't even handle it. You asking a child to handle something that you can't even handle. And it's other things where you put me as a child in grown-ups' business, like trying to get me to tell on their husband that they cheating and all type. You don't put a child in a grown-up's business. No, you don't do that. A child is to be guided, loved. There was older people in the projects that kicked me in my butt as a child. You don't treat a child like that. bullying and all that other crazy stuff? No. But that's neither here nor there. Because before I used to be like, FAB? You'll learn what FAB is. Yeah, of course. When I walk down the street, be like, FAB? Nah, all right. Then there's a whole lot of other stuff. I got arrested without I got convicted without jurisdiction. Now, you turned a child into a killer. That's the problem. That's where it lies at. You turned the innocent child into a killer. Or an innocent child, somebody that's working, that's loving it. And you know I was loving of ladies. You know, I always loved ladies, always did things for them. I got my first record deal because of ladies. You know what I'm saying? I always had respect for the ladies. I had girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? But this is how they destroy you. They chip it away piece by piece. Like killing that man in front of the black lady, killing the black man in front of the black lady to make them more submissive. Yeah, that's that Willie Lynch. You know, that's the making of a slave. You kill the black man in front of the black woman, that makes the black woman more submissive to the slave master. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of injustice that's going on and a lot of things. And once you start speaking about it, that's when they be like, but people, I mean, we only get one life to live. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that they're more, God Almighty, like they're the best thing that happened since the invention of ice, freeze, making ice. You know what I mean? I don't know, but that's what it is. And I'm running a injustice show, you know, a fight against injustice. And basically, it's called The Truth Press. That's something I started while I was incarcerated, The Truth Press. And I think I overdid it, you know what I'm saying? Because I was breaking down things about how ladies, you know what I'm saying? And relationships, like basically, you know, when a lady wants what she wants, she don't care if he cheat 1,000 times. You know what I mean? She want that man. You know what I'm saying? And it is a whole lot, but it's the law overlooked so many stuff in my aspects. They railroaded me. The judge said to the black district attorney, Darcel Clark, who's the district attorney of the Bronx at this moment as we speak, she said, well, I'm going to show you this case, show you that it's not emotional disturbance. Why not it's not emotional disturbance? You got to be out of your rabid mind if you think this case was an emotional disturbance. Like, I'm not a killer. You turned the innocent, that's the fight. You turned the innocent child into a killer by oppressing them in this land, and you do it all the time, man. And I could bring up cases where there was a man who shot up the Empire State Building lobby because he was an Arab, his father left him money, and then the government took the money from him. So, but that's not saying you supposed to, you know, do lawsuits and all that and try to get your money back, but then you put an onus on a person, you know, a burden on a person, an extra burden. Who got time to be, you know, like sitting up in the courtroom? I know nobody really want to be going through no lawsuits or fighting for something that they took away from them. That's time, that's costly, paying for lawyers, and the system is unjust, so you become frustrated. Not just frustrated, when your mind is so clouded, you got so much traffic in your mind becomes cluttered from the traffic or abuse that you're doing, so you just snap. Now, as a child, that should have never happened. And this happened in a time of crack, AIDS, we going through all this stuff, poverty, wondering whether or not you're going to be living in a cardboard box, whether or not you're going to be homeless whether or not you're going to be married with children. It's a whole bunch of stuff on the child's mind. And I think what you did to me was very much injustice. And I think y'all owe me. Matter of fact, I don't even think, I know you owe me. You oppressed me bad.